Hello everybody, this is John Hardy back with you, bringing you the tip of the day. Risks. Oh, you might say, that's a bit scary. We live in a world now wherein the insurance business tells us it is no longer a 100-year dynamic that we're waiting for. We're actually living in the 100-year expression of what goes on in our world, and we need to deal with risks in our world as if we're living in that 100-year expression happening today. So the way we actually take risks and understand the risk dynamics, it's very current and very real. I'm not only a business coach, but I sit on a number of boards, and one of the dynamics we all look at is the risk issues for us as an organization, and we actually have our own risk matrix where we know when we're dealing with challenges that the company is facing and where we're going, we actually know we can put it through our risk matrix and ask the question, is this a red? Is this amber? Is this green? However, the various dynamics that we actually do, and we know why we're going to take that challenge and take on that area of growth development or that opportunity, because we understand and know we actually have to take risks, but what will that risk do and what do we need to be aware of even if we do take the risk, and oftentimes we are taking risks and challenging ourselves to step into new areas. Risks gives you the opportunity to actually be entrepreneurial. Risks gives you the opportunity to be disruptive within your marketplace. Risks gives you the opportunity to be creative and setting the course and the agenda for the dynamic of business that you are in and the dynamic of business that others are around and about you. We've often thought in business, and small to medium-sized businesses, which are a majority of businesses around the world that actually sustain most of our countries, that we think this risk issue is only up for Googles and Facebooks and large corporations, Amazons and Shells and those kind of corporations. Yes, they have to take risks, but we will help us if we understand risk taking is very, very powerful and will give us an opportunity to be lean and mean and kind of act like we are a startup company ready to take on fresh energy and fresh opportunities. I've just been in a situation where I've handed over an organization to another organization, and knowing what we had to do is manage the risks of that and manage the whole transfer. And I'm watching now this new organization doing things differently to me, even though it's same, it's same different. And watching what they're doing, listening to their conversation, observing them now as an outsider to that organization, it's wonderful to see that they're taking risks which we hadn't thought of doing, because it's new energy, new vitality. They're treating it as a startup, they're treating it as an entrepreneurial opportunity, and they're going as fast as they can and hard and as enthusiastic as they can. But we often will stop ourselves from being in that space of taking risks because we're too calculated. We know that risk means exposure. We know that risk means challenge. We know that risk might mean losing money. We know that risk might mean exposing us to new areas that we haven't thought of. But what I'm wanting to do is actually encourage you to be like that, because here's what large companies understand about risk. It helps them be creative and innovative and set the agenda for their future. And this is what we don't do in small to medium-sized businesses. We don't do that to ourselves and for ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to be innovative, and we don't allow ourselves to be creative. So, how do we actually engage in this process? I want to suggest that once a month in your business, that you gather whoever it is, whether it's all your staff, some of your staff, your lean, mean executive team, whatever it might be, and actually spend 2 or 3 hours where you challenge yourselves to risk in a new area, and you're going in those 2 hours to actually be creative and innovative and come up with a suggestion for what you might do innovatively, creatively, risk-taking for your business. It might mean taking on a new product. It might mean expanding into a new market dynamic. It might be an expression of taking on a new advertising strategy. Just recently in the Super Bowl, out of Australia, Australian tourism took a risk and put an advert up there and spent a lot of their money on their general advertising. They have had over 400, in the first 4 hours, they had over 400 million hits. and it's generated 4,000 within 4 hours, 4,000 media articles. You can't pay to do that unless you take a risk. They were willing to do that because they want to encourage people to know that the world, Australia, is a great place to come. Come and explore it with us. Come and enjoy it with us. That's what I want you to imagine. Be innovative, be creative, take a risk today, because you will build a better business.